Let's go! It's me, Little Ricky #1, with some more Battlefront relevant content today. However, there's a twist. Because I'm joined by my brother, the Reza23.
Excalibur! Excalibur!
Okay, there's enough of that. That's enough.
Mixtape dropping 2025.
Alright, dude, alright.
Hit me up on YouTube.
Anyways, we're the two original members of Pioneer Gaming, link below. It's our combined channels. More information on that at the channel, depending on when you're watching this video. But this is a new series on my channel, Battlefront Brothers, and we're going to talk about a few topics that we've gathered. Some of it I have already, or I will cover in a video. And so, without further ado, let's hop right in. The first topic we're going to talk about is customization. So, do you want to lead us off on that?
Alright, actually this is something I've been wanting to get into for a while, though I do believe there should be customization. It should be very limited compared to what we've been seeing lately in games these days. First, I think each different faction should have a different way of customization. Some should be more limited than others. Like, the Rebels should have much more customization, in my opinion, than the Clones, and the Clones should have even more than the Droids. What do you think about that?
I agree with what you said. I think since the Rebels are in fact rebels, in their ragtag, they're gonna pick up any equipment that they can get their hands on, that they should be more diverse than the other classes, at least as far as movie continuity goes. The clones, yeah, and the clones shouldn't have as much because, well, quite simply, they're clones. The droids are droids, and I don't really know how well you can even customize them, and except for maybe having different rocket types, because they shoot rockets out of their arm gauntlet, and I don't really know what to do for the stormtroopers. So
I thought they should just hang out with the clones too. Though I did want to also say, before anyone says that there are no clones or anything confirmed, let's be honest, guys. This is Star Wars, and we will riot and kill people if you don't get it. So clones are confirmed. You hear it first right here on this channel.
I like that topic change because we were talking about customization, but actually I'm glad you said that because we can move on to the Republic. Why is the Republic missing from Star Wars, the new Star Wars Battlefront, at least as we see it right now? Because they're a very big part of the series. They're literally the second half of the Star Wars main universe, the more popular two universes. And honestly, it's my favorite of the two universes.
My personal favorite was also the clones, but I feel as though what they're trying to do, and I know this sounds bad for you saying this about DICE, but I think it might end up becoming a DLC cash grab, because I see no reason which you would take them out of the core content unless you're trying to put them in later on as a DLC, which, sadly, as things are going on right now in gaming, I'm going to have to feel like it'll probably end up being a paid version.
Yeah, you're not alone on that idea, because honestly, if it doesn't make it into the main game, I really do hope that they release it as a DLC, because though I think it should not have to be a DLC, I believe that just the Empire's Era itself isn't actually worth enough to pay $60 for a Battlefront game, in my opinion, because I've played the Battlefront games, and you need both halves, in my opinion, which I've said already. Oh yeah, but yeah, I hope they at least release it as a DLC instead of making us wait till maybe Battlefront 2 or something, or their own spin-off game, kind of like Hardline is the Battlefield, or like Bad Company is the Battlefield. You got anything else you want to say on that topic, or?
The only way I could say that they could justify it with not having the clones in there at first would be that they might say that they're trying to be loyal to how the movies originally started off, where it was just only the Empire and the Rebels, and then it segued to show the prequel. But as he said, we've both been playing Star Wars Battlefront for years. We played it back when we were kids, and one of the best things is that you can switch between both eras at any point in time through instant action or galactic conquest.
Yeah, I agree. However, I'm not completely sold yet that we won't see the Clone Wars. I have hope that the Battlefront community will, that from the old games will stand up and say, hey, DICE, man, you need to put it in. And I'm also hoping that during GDC or E3, they show off some Clone Wars era gameplay. I don't think they'll show it at Gamescom because that'll be just too close to the release date. So if they do show it, they'll show it in the GDC trailer era, or they'll show it during E3. Anything else?
Let's segue into the next topic.
All right. The next topic I want to talk about is hunt mode. And one thing it is I'm not sure if Dice is even going to put this into the game. Being 100% honest, I don't want to lead anyone on. I don't actually think Dice is going to put it into the game because Dice has a track record of having, well, pretty serious game modes and game types. They don't usually go onto the fun stuff and the like hunt mode where it's not really serious. There's no really competitive part of it. It's just literally one side is much more powerful than the other, and really the only time you win with the blasters is if you as a player are just simply way better. Thoughts?
Well, actually, when I was younger, I didn't really use hunt mode. But lately, when we started playing Battlefront again because they said Battlefront 3 was coming out, I have to admit, I used to hate it. I used to think it was an unneeded thing. But now, I love hunt mode. And like you said, it's usually overpowered for whatever thing you're hunting, like the Wookiees or for some reason the Ewoks who can kick everyone's ass. But
And the Wampas.
the Wampas I actually enjoy it the most too because they're the quickest and they're the biggest. But they actually give you the fear of feeling like you can't win. If you do win, it's all because of you. You were that one defining feature in the battle, which you usually are, but it's less noticeable unless you're Christian who goes 60-0. But with the Wampas, it just really pushed it for me because I actually had to run away and I had to keep away from them while I was shooting, and I felt like I was in a last-ditch effort to survive because I couldn't even get back on the ship.
Yeah. Um, Again, I agree. There's not a lot of disagreement going on here because it might be because we've talked about this stuff before, so we already kind of know that we agree, and we grew up with the games together, so and playing the games together, so we pretty much have similar ideas. Although there was a thing or two that you threw in there that gave me a little bit of a curveball. I actually always liked hunt mode. That's one thing. However, I didn't play it as much when we were younger because me and you would always play it together. And actually, this topic wasn't on the list. However, I'm going to throw it in anyways right now. Could we hope or pressure Dice to allow for split screen? All right, so say something on that, Riza. You look a little excited over there. What's up?
Okay, I am one of the people I might get attacked here for this, but I usually don't really care for Call of Duty. One thing Call of Duty does better than anyone else, Call of Duty and Halo will give you split screen multiplayer whenever you want it. What I've hated about nowadays games is that they got rid of split screen. I don't care if you say that there's people looking off the screen. If anything, it just makes you feel better when you pwn them. We need to have split screen, and if DICE brings back split screen, I promise you their sales will go up because everyone's going to say, I can now not just play this on multiplayer, but I can have my best friend with me playing it.
Right, and it I think it might even help them sell more games because it allows friends to come over your house and play the game with you before they ever have to go purchase it. Now, granted, you could also say, well, they could just come over and I'll let them play for an hour. Yeah, but it's more fun because they get a test run of playing with you. It's more fun when you're playing with someone than not at all. And it also allows you and your friends for better moments because let's face it, man, we all love playing split screen because that person that you beat was right beside you. You guys could trash talk right there. You had that atmosphere of being next to each other, and that's also why people LAN. That's one reason why people set up LAN parties. The atmosphere. You have the people that you're playing with right beside you. And I'm missing that from games. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be a multiplayer. If they hopefully bring back bot mode, then, which we're not going to talk about today, which I'm hoping for, by the way. If they brought back like bot mode and you can play split screen against each other or with each other like in the past, that's an awesome selling point. Not everyone likes to play online, and what if your internet goes down or your online capabilities are down or EA's down or PlayStation Network's down or whatever? You can still enjoy the game with at least one friend. And each console, if we're talking about playing on consoles, allows for up to 4 players to play with you. So, it's just food for thought, Dice. Think about it. I highly recommend you put it in. This coming from a customer. All right, so on to you. What you got to say?
All right, I'm real quick to shoot this one in there because it's not going to take much time to go through. I want to bring back both first person and third person. You can switch between it whenever you want because nowadays there's so many third person shooters and so many first person shooters. But back in the day, they used to actually have where you could be both. And it didn't give anybody much more of an advantage over the other. It just depended on your skill. Some people might tell you, oh, they could camp a wall and just look over the side and try to kill them. But half the time, I still got you. So don't worry about it if you're one of those people who get self-reliant, I guess, or who can't worry about themselves. They always think that it's going to be someone else trying to cheat them. You should still be able to take them out. The game's very fair with it. And I just hope DICE brings it back.
Okay, though that wasn't the topic, I want to actually elaborate on that. So there have been sources a while back saying that third person would be in the game, and now there are more recent sources saying that it'll just be for vehicles like in Battlefield. I don't know about that. Also, in the old game, the great thing about it was actually still kind of balanced. Go back and play it. If you're in third person, especially shooting over range, you weren't very accurate. Like, for instance, the bullets didn't always go exactly to the reticle. Sometimes you actually had to aim it a little bit lower, otherwise it shot over the person's head. So sometimes you had to aim it at the chest to get a headshot. However, in the first person mode, your bullets went exactly where you pointed. So that was an advantage of having first person over third person, even though third person gave you a little bit more field of view. We're gonna move from that to whether or not we believe DICE could even handle this game, this project. All right, and obviously this is something that's been asked ever since E3 2013 when they unveiled their miniature teaser. But the thing is, it's 2015. The game's coming out later this year, and they really haven't showed us enough to decide whether or not they can handle it. So we're just gonna give some speculations of, based on their past video games and achievements, most likely from Battlefield. All right, I'll lead off on this one. I'm half and half on whether or not DICE can handle this. Here's why. DICE, when I originally got into the series for Battlefield and Bad Company 2, I loved that game. I still love that game. I played it on PS3. The only sad part about it now is it seems like you can't even find a full game anywhere. So to me, that game is, well, going to be left to memories from now on, unless I get it on PC, which I might even do. But now I'm elaborating onto a different game. However, that game's had bugs in it. It's had its number of bugs in it. Okay. However, the game itself was still a major success, and it was incredibly fun. And it kept the bugs to a minimum. Battlefield 3 comes around. Terrible release. Bugs everywhere. The game was glitching all the time. You had problems. However, that game turned into a humongous success, and I still go back and play it and have phenomenal memories. Actually, I just played it yesterday, to be completely honest, and I still can't get enough of it. And the community is still going strong years later. Battlefield 4, however, their most recent video game, I will still say it's a flop. Okay, here's why. Release was awful. It was completely terrible. Okay, the game would crash. You could barely make it through an entire match. I had times where I had my PlayStation would shut off. That's how bad it was. Mid-game, it would completely turn my entire PlayStation off. And it would do this round after round after round until finally I quit. I barely ever played Battlefield 4. I literally played Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 more than I played Battlefield 4. Their newest release, with all the 1001 features they added in. This should have been the game that I played nonstop. I actually played the other two nonstop. I don't play this one. DICE, your recent track history is troubling to me. Your old track history to me is very exciting and I like it. However, at the same time, I think they learned from their mistake with Battlefield 4, rushing it and putting out an unfinished game, because it killed their fan base big time. They still have a ton of fans. It's still top end game, but still hurt their fan base and their credibility a lot. Battlefront's coming around. They gave themselves ample time to make this game. I'm sure they'll make it to the best of their abilities. That might even be why we don't see the Clone War era, is because they want to at least make sure that they do one era properly. However, I really hope that they still get the Clone War era in there. But that's up. That is still up to DICE. Hopefully, this community could pressure them into getting it. But I hope that they can handle it. I don't think they're gonna make the same mistake they made with Battlefield 4. Again, I say, and they're gonna make sure that they put out a good quality product. All right, what's your thoughts?
I agree with you on most of the things you've been saying. My biggest issue with it is just like you said. Don't want to end up buying a game and then for a while having to have it as a broken game. I understand usually their output ends up being good. I always say that I like the stories, except for I do have issues with 4. Can't believe they killed off my favorite guy in such a crappy way. But we're gonna leave that.
R.I.P. Dima.
Dima for life. Now, My biggest issue with that would be that they need to work on their script, their coding. As long as they do that right, if you give me less glitches and you keep me with the great stories you do, the beautiful environments. My favorite thing about Battlefront was the huge, large scales that they had, and Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 show you that DICE can do it. As long as I can get that done, I would love to see bigger, more evolution in a Battlefront, and I would just love to see DICE do it. Just work on that coding.
Wait, hold up. You liked Battlefield's story modes?
Yes, I actually did enjoy them.
Oh my. Well, okay. I liked Bad Company. Bad Company had good story modes. However, I think Battlefield 3 and 4 were
No, I hate it for it.
awful, except for Dima. Dima was good in BF3, and that's it. He was the shining, shimmering glimpse of greatness in that game.
My favorite part in the story mode was literally the Dima part, putting on that mask and going in there like a badass. That's my piece. That's all I wanted. But he also had pieces throughout this game in which I actually felt really emotional, like when they killed off the guy who was in the tank, or when Montez had to sacrifice himself more actually to get killed by Al-Bashir in New York.
That was Solomon.
That was Solomon?
Yeah, that was Solomon, dude. But that's okay. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, actually, we did not get through all the topics we wanted to do today, so we're gonna move those on to the next video. And no, there is no questions. The only people who get to leave questions are the people who are gonna be watching this video. You guys can leave them in the comment section below. But that's about all. So thank you for watching. Like it if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. Give some improvement tips. And check out the Reese's channel, Pioneer Gaming. Again, they'll be in the link in the description below. And let us know in the comment section below what you want us to talk about last time and what you think about the topics that we've already spoken on. Alright? See you next time. Game on.